Welcome to the Hilton Head Island Concours d'Elegance Exhibitor Registration and Vehicle Application System. What we'd like to do today is actually walk you through the process of how to register both yourself and your vehicles for the event. This is a new system, so of course we want to take you through step by step in the process and make sure that you're comfortable with inputting the proper information into the system. To get to this home page, what you'll do, of course, is go to the Concours website where you'll find a registration button, and when you click on that, that button will take you to this particular home page. Let's scroll down on the home page itself and show you some more information that shows up on it. As I mentioned, it's a new system, so of course what we're going to do is take you through a three-step process to register both yourself and your vehicle. The first process is going to be for you to register yourself as the owner or the displayer, and a secondary registrant if required, husband, wife, co-owner, displayer, whatever the requirement might be. Along with that, you'll input the vehicle information for one vehicle or multiple vehicles if you have more than one vehicle to show. Then finally, what you're going to do is register your vehicle for an event. And that'll be an easy process of being able to select one of the particular events within the show to register for. What happens is that when you register both yourself and also your vehicle, you will receive emails back from the system identifying the fact that you have registered for the system, and it'll give you a registrant code so that once you receive that code, you'll know that your information has been saved within the system. As you'll see, to start off the process, what we'll do is we'll click on this new registrant button to get everything initiated and go to the input forms to begin your registration for your own individual information. But before we do that, what I'd like to do is actually scroll on down on this particular screen and show you some additional information. What happens, as I mentioned, is the fact that you'll get a registration code after you register both yourself and your vehicle for the show. And that code will actually allow you to go back into the system and make changes to either your registration information or your vehicle information on an ongoing basis. Of course, you don't normally have to make changes to either one of those particular items except for the following year that you're going to register again your vehicle for the show. And at that point, of course, we would like you to have information updated for both yourself and also for your vehicle. And when you do that, all you have to do is, of course, click on one of the red buttons here, the registration update or the vehicle update, and input the registration code into the system, and it'll actually show the actual registration information for you or your vehicle at that point, where you can actually click on a little icon for a pencil for the edit of that particular item and be able to actually make changes to your particular input. Let's scroll down a little bit further. You'll now see the fact that we've got examples of the input forms for you to review on the actual home page. So in the event that you've forgotten exactly what the requirements are off this video, you'll always be able to go back to the home page and be able to scroll down and see the input forms and what the requirements are. Of course, we highlight those particular areas that we want to make sure you're aware of on the forms itself, and it takes you through each one of the individual forms for both a registration of yourself as well as your vehicle. And then finally, registration of the vehicle for an event. Again, we'll walk through the full process of registering both yourself and a vehicle on this video, but if required, you can always go back to this home page and be able to look up information to be able to see exactly what the requirements are going to be. So let's go ahead and go to the new registrant button and select that to go to the input form for new registrant. So what you're seeing here, of course, is the input form for a new registrant. And everyone will need, of course, to register themselves within this new system for the first time so that we have that information collected properly. All you'll have to do, of course, is go down and scroll on in and either click on the drop-down menu selection to select the individual items that you need, or fill in individual pieces of information as we go along. One of the things that I do want to mention is the fact that there's a red asterisk here you'll see for title or gender or first name. Those particular items are required items within the system, and it will not save your information into the system unless those items are actually filled on in. So please make sure you fill in all the items where they have a red asterisk. Let me go ahead and fill this one in for myself, and then we'll continue on here momentarily. Okay, so we filled the top part in so far with respect to both my personal information, of course, my mobile phone and email. And by the way, we require you to have both a mobile phone and email in the system so that we can either contact you prior to the show or during the show. And that's the only way we can effectively get access to you is to have that information. So please make sure you fill that information on in. The next step is, of course, your home address. And what we want to do here is show you exactly how this works. This is actually associated with Google Maps. And so it'll actually try to start figuring out your address once you start typing things on in. So all you have to do is just type in your address. And as you can see, as you start typing more information on in, the system tries to find that particular location on the map. And it'll give you various different options, but you normally would select the top one. And what it does, of course, is it fills in the detailed information for your address automatically into the system. If it cannot find the address, though, you can actually manually input information into these cells by yourself and just type it on in and do it that way as well. And by the way, of course, you'll see the fact that it has a map, so it gives you an idea of the location to make sure that it's consistent with what you assume it's going to be. As you see, we're actually inputting the registrant information first for the owner. And of course, that is the owner of the vehicle. Now, it may be at times the owner is not going to show the vehicle, and so that may be the displayer that actually is filling in the information, but we do want and we need to have the owner's information to begin with on this initial form, and so make sure that this is for the owner's information only to begin with. We can always add a secondary registrant by just clicking on this little button here. Of course, a portion of the form now opens up for you to fill in the actual secondary registrant. So if you're a displayer, for example, and the owner does not show up, but you are going to show the vehicle, then of course you'll fill it in here. Normally this would be a situation where it would be a husband-wife or wife-husband situation, and you would fill in those particular requirements for that secondary registrant. And again, like I say, you'll have a drop-down menu selection option available to you, so you can actually walk through the whole process and make sure you fill in the relevant information. So we'll unclick this to hide this. And as you can see, we've got all the relevant information into the system already, so why don't we go ahead and add a vehicle. As you'll see, there are of course numerous input requirements for the vehicle or the activities associated with the vehicle, so we make sure that you fill in that information as required. There are a number of drop-down menu selections that you can choose from easily, or there's text boxes that you fill in manually to identify exactly what the situation might be for that particular vehicle. Let me go ahead and fill this one on in, and we'll move forward here momentarily. I've gone ahead and filled in the top section of the vehicle information form, and as you can see here, we've got all the basic information associated with the car and also some other relevant information. We of course have a commercial license plate. Whatever information you would like to show up on your license plate for the Hilton Head ceremonial license plate, please put that on in. And then with respect to the license plate location, what we'd like to do, of course, is identify the city and the state that you would like to have the location set up for. And so please put the city and then the 2-letter designation for the state. And then finally, you can put your badge name, whatever information you would like, either your personal information, your name and first name and last name, or whatever you would like to have on the badge to show up on the badge, because that's exactly what's going to show up on the badge. So let's continue on and go on down here further. Now, of course, we need 5 major items about your vehicle. What are the relevant pieces of information that you want to show to the person walking by your vehicle? Because this is going to be actually on your sign in front of your vehicle. So we want 5 major items, the highlights of what your vehicle is all about, the history or whatever the situation might be. Each one of these, of course, you want to have a single input in for a particular item, and there's only 160 characters allowed within one particular group here for this input cell for item number 1, then another 160 for 2 and 3, 4, and 5. We need at least a minimum of 3 inputs, 3 primary inputs for your vehicle. Of course, highlighting whatever the unique characteristics of your vehicle are and be able to put that on in. Now again, remember the fact that this is going on your front sign in front of your vehicle, so please keep it concise and focused on the relevant pieces of information that are required for the vehicle that you want people to understand and focus on when they go by your vehicle. Along with that, what we'll want to do, of course, is fill in the additional information associated with the vehicle, mileage, interior, things of that nature. Again, please try to fill in this information to the best you can for your individual vehicle. And again, I know that it changes from vehicle to vehicle what the unique characteristics are, but please make sure that you fill in as much of this information as possible so that we understand the unique characteristics of the vehicle. One thing we of course need to have is the chassis serial number, the body serial number, and the engine serial number, and make sure you have those pieces of information input into the system. Along with that, what we'd like to do is of course have you input the VIN number. Now we of course know that there are not VIN numbers for all vehicles. In fact, many of the older vehicles have no VIN number whatsoever. But those vehicles that do have VIN numbers, we would ask you to input that information into the system as well. Beyond that, of course, we want the engine information, so please put that information associated with the unique characteristics of your particular vehicle there. And of course, as far as the restoration process, whether or not it's been restored, who the restorer is, the restoration date, and any restoration comments that you would like to input into the system. Next, what we'd like you to do, of course, is input information for how you're going to transport your vehicle to the event. We, of course, need this information to understand exactly what where the loading and unloading of your vehicle is going to be, as well as also the actual parking of the transport vehicle that you're going to bring your vehicle in. So, of course, we need to have some relevant information associated with that. So it's a drop-down menu selection. If you're personally driving into the vehicle, that's all you need to do is just click on that and go from there. If you're going to trailer it in, then we need to understand what truck trailer type you're going to be. Is it a flatbed or a car, truck, and trailer combination, or some type of semi that's going to bring the vehicle on in? And then the actual length of the vehicle, both with respect to the truck and the trailer. And again, we need this so that we have enough parking space for all the vehicles that will be showing up to drop off their show cars. Along with that, if you're going to be flying in, that's all you need to. That's fine. Again, this is only for the aviation side of the show. And then if there's professional transportation company, please fill in the company name, company contact, and company phone number. Please fill those three pieces of information in so we understand exactly who's going to bring in the vehicle for you and how we can contact them. If you know the driver's name and driver phone number, please also include that information as well. That way, we need to contact the driver for whatever reason during the show, then we actually have access to them and know exactly who we need to contact. Finally, what we need, of course, are pictures for the vehicle. And we have 5 required pictures for each individual vehicle. So please make sure you input 5 pictures. If you do not have 5 pictures input into the system, your registration will not be accepted by Concours, and you'll be requested to fill in the additional shots that are missing. A couple things that we should notify you on is, of course, we will not accept PDF documents, so please do not put a PDF file to this. Please make sure it's a JPEG file. Along with that, of course, you can take pictures directly from your smartphone. Of course, smartphones today have excellent cameras on them, so we're more than happy to take pictures directly from your smartphone and have those loaded into the system. To, of course, put a picture into the system, all you have to do is click on the Browse button here. It'll take you to your C drive and actually open up wherever you have your picture stored and be able to add that particular picture into the system, and just keep on going down and doing the same thing over and over again for the additional pictures that you want. Once that's all completed, now all of a sudden we just go on down and register that particular vehicle for a show. And again, there are 2 different options here, just so you know. One is, of course, for registering for the show. The other one actually is for making changes or modifications to your vehicle registration once you've registered the vehicle into the system and you want to update information or whatever it is only. If you're registering for the first time, though, please click on Register Vehicle for the show to continue the natural process for registering your car for an event. So finally, we're at the process of registering your particular vehicle for an event within the show. Of course, what's going to happen is that you're going to see your vehicle and your name here, and you'll identify the fact that the event year is going to be the current year, unless you're registering for a future year, but that's not normally the case, so we default to the current year. And then over here on the right-hand side, you're going to select the actual show event that you're going to register for. Of course, there are a group of different options available to you for that. If you're, of course, an aviation person bringing an aircraft in, and all you do is click on the Aero Expo, and that'll be fine. If you're going to the Car Club Showcase, you click on that, and now all of a sudden, the Car Club name shows on up that you need to associate your vehicle with. And so, of course, all the car clubs that are going to be active at the show will show up here, and you'll be able to click on the individual name for the club you're going to be associated with. You must select the car club that you're going to be associated with for the Car Club Showcase, the Saturday only event. On the Concours d'Elegance show, what happens, of course, is the fact that it's only on Sunday, And as you'll see, there's an age limitation with respect to the maximum age for the vehicle to be accepted. We put a 1974 vehicle on in, and it will not accept that particular car because it's too new of a vehicle for the Concours shell. So please make sure it falls within the categories. A 1973 or earlier for the Concours d'Elegance, the Sunday show only. And then finally, there's a 2-day features event, and again, all you have to do is click on that and be able to select that as your primary focus for the event. So once we've selected this, now what you're going to do, of course, is just click Save and Exit, and that's as far as you have to go with respect to registering yourself and your vehicle for the show. If, though, you're going to register for more than one event for the show, for your particular vehicle, then you're going to click on Save and add another event registration. And it'll, of course, just bring this screen back on up, and you'll actually select a new event for your vehicle. Or if you're going to add another vehicle to the show, so you have more than one vehicle that you're going to show at the Concours event, what you're going to do is click on the Save and Add Another Vehicle, and it'll take you back to the vehicle input form where you're going to fill in the information for the new vehicle, and then you're going to register that vehicle for an event, and it'll take you back to this particular screen. And then you fill out the exact event that you're going to show the vehicle for. And then finally, like I say, all you have to do is click on the Save and Exit, which is normally going to be the process you're going to follow if it's only one person in one particular vehicle. But you will click on Save and Exit, and you're taken out to the closing screen here that identifies the fact that your information has been saved. You've been sent 2 emails notifying you first off the fact that your registering information, your information has been saved in the system, and then second, that your vehicle registration has been saved as well. And if you have multiple vehicles, you're going to get multiple emails for that as well. On those, you'll have the same identical registrant code. As I mentioned earlier, that code will be used later on to update or enhance or modify either your registration or your vehicle's registration if you want to go back into the system and make modifications to that information. But if you're only registering one vehicle and you're done, you end up here and you're completed with the whole registration process. You'll go to this web page, and that's all you need to do for completing your registration process. Finally, if you do want to go back to the Concours home page, you can click here at the bottom, and it'll take you directly on out to the Concours home page. That's it. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you at the show.